دعوة. كن فريدا عش بفخر في الحياة لا تبالي.
Right, and why can't I believe? Because
you have to give your reasons.
I feel like you're not. No, because I feel like you're sometimes you're discounting the like impact of the world and all the things that happen in the world on people's opinions.
Give Owen,
yeah.
Owen, put an alternative concept of God and let's discuss this too in comparison to this.
You said it to me. You said God is energy. Do you remember when we spoke? You said I believe God is just an energy around us and we're just atoms within it. So
yeah, I kind of have. Yeah. I don't. That's the thing. I don't have a specific and like. What's the word? Like haven't decided on a complete idea.
It's just an intuition. It's a feeling, and you can't like describe it.
But if you were to take
you were talking before, like you said, if you believe in God, you just feel that that's right. Like this is the right way. You just feel it's in your heart. You don't really have a reason for it, and that's the same.
You realise you're not far off the Muslim narrative by saying energy. You're not that far off.
Let's talk about this energy. This energy. We say God possesses energy and you say God is energy. The difference at the moment. This energy has to be either conscious, self-aware, or not conscious and not self-aware. That's the two options. If you say this energy is not conscious, not self-aware, then this energy cannot bring about anything, cannot do anything.
But I don't think it has. I think like the energy is everything.
Yeah.
Like it's infinity, it's us, it's not conscious, it is conscious, it's like it's everything and it can't really be described.
In our world, changes happen constantly, transformation from one form to the other, matter, energy into conversion, one form to the other, how things like, how human beings start from a baby and grow older and older and older and eventually we die and that's it. There's a process of change and transformation. This process is either directed, willed, or it just happens by itself through this energy. Either the energy is directing it to happen because it's self-aware, it has a goal or direction or a plan, or it just happens without it knowing or interfering, it just happens. Now, which one makes more sense is the question. Let me give you an example to illustrate my point further. Imagine there is a kitchen where you cook. Do you cook?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Now, so he finds your kitchen, he comes to the kitchen and he sees everything's there. There's a cooker, there's a lighter to light the cooker, the gas cooker. There's a fridge, he opens it, there's milk, there's a cupboard on the shelf and there's tea in tea bags and there are cups and plates and there's water in the sink. And he says, okay, I want a cup of tea with, how many sugars do you like?
2 sugars.
2 sugars. And he waits there. He waits and he waits. You, the willing agent, the one who transforms, the one who directs, the one who changes, the one who brings about, you're not there. Okay? You're just watching. He waits and waits and waits. Days goes by, months goes by, years goes by, eons goes by, eons. His tea doesn't get produced. Why so? Because there is no willing agent to will to bring all of this together to make tea. Because a conscious agent needs to will this to happen. He's intending it, he wants it, but there's no one else doing it for you. Because you are the chef, for example, you're the cook, you're not bringing them together, you haven't willed it. This tea will never happen. Doesn't matter, you sit there for infinity. You need a conscious, willing agent to bring all this element. Open the fridge door, bring the milk out, untap, sink, the water in the kettle, put it in the cooker, light the cooker, the gas flames, boils, bring the tea bags. All of these requires conscious processes by a will. If you believe in an energy, which is in control of this universe or not in control of the universe, then without consciousness and will, nothing will happen. It will be like just energy, but no transformation. The fact that we have transformation happening and changes happening tells us that there is a controller, a mover, a director, an organizer. And that's where we say this organizer is what we say God, who possesses, the creator who possesses this energy. Yes, the creator is not without energy. He possesses the energy. He creates. Yeah. So the difference is subtle, but it's quite important. The energy and the creator, the difference being someone or something that is self-aware, conscious, and has a will. So we say the creator created us with a will for a reason. Our fingerprints testify that we are created for a reason, because it's all unique. If it was just by pure chance and coincidence, 2 fingerprints should be the same by coincidence. We have established forensic science where we use this as evidence. If the fingerprints match, it doesn't match with someone else's, because our fingerprints are unique. And God actually refers to this, people who reflect and think, you know, do you really think that when you are dead and you're rotten, some people say, when you die or when you're dead and that's it, He will not bring you back, He's not going to gather you back together? Just no, certainly He will. Certainly He will, even to the very tips of your fingers. Maybe nothing special about it. Maybe there is something special about the tips of your fingers. Okay, God alludes to this point, and we know why, because it's very unique. He will bring you back again to the second life. Yeah, again, as unique as you were, He can bring you back again, no problem. Because God says He created you first time, He will create you again. Is it difficult? If He creates you first time, He has all this blueprint. If you make something first time, is it difficult or easier to make something like it again? Easier. That's what God tells us to think. If you are created again, why do you then say that there is no afterlife? When you die and that's it? No. There will be justice. There will be a day of judgment where the bad and the wicked don't get away. They will be accountable for what they have done. And the good people, like yourself, the good people will be rewarded for their good. But the wicked people will have their justice seen. They may be punished for what they have done. Yeah, and this is what justice demands: punishment for the people who have done something evil. Imagine someone who is a serial rapist, killer, child molester, you know, ethnic cleansing, whatever, right? And he gets away, lives like a king, dies like a king.
So what do you?
Where is the justice?
What do you? How would you? What is the line for that justice? Would you say? So you know, like a rapist. Is someone that doesn't follow a lot of the stuff in the Quran?
I got your question. So justice means, again, you will be accountable for your actions. The actions have to be told to you first, which ones are acceptable and which ones not. Otherwise, it's meaningless to go and suddenly say, I'm going to punish you for that, when you didn't know whether they're acceptable actions or not.
So say someone's raised without much of they're raised without parents, they don't have anyone instilling,
to tell them right from wrong,
instilling a religion like a lot of good Muslims and good Christians do, and say they sin in their life. How would you say that person will be punished?
God, of course, is ultimately the judge and the arbiter, an arbitrator in terms of settling the dispute, and He is the owner and the master of the Day of Judgment. He will judge justly. No one will be unjustly treated. That means if an individual, let me give you an extreme. If an individual were somewhere in a
Aborigines or something,
somewhere in like an Eskimo individual, there's only few people, and no prophet and messenger came, and they left. There's no guidance, no book, and the only tools they have is the intellect. They will be only judged as per the use of the intellect. They cannot be judged otherwise, like, oh, why didn't you do this when you do that? Because they didn't even know what to do. Okay, that is why in one of the chapters in the Quran, God clarifies this position. That this is called. It's interesting because this is a question people often have. This is in Surah Al-Mulk. I'll show you this. It's very interesting.
I asked this question when I was 10.
Yeah, look.
Yeah.
I asked this question when I was 10.
It's like, say someone was taught bad, or that say they were brought up with a father or mother that was just someone that was like immoral and didn't really have a good grasp of right
Okay,
and wrong.
here.
If they're taught wrong their whole life, what are they?
That's all man.
So, I'm just reading the relevant parts, right? So there are some people who will be deserving to go to a punishment because of their actions and belief. So he's describing those individuals. And for those who disbelieved in their Lord is the punishment of hell, and
Disbelieved, what does that mean?
they disbelieve, didn't believe.
Don't believe in God.
No. Disbelieve in the Lord, meaning didn't believe in the Creator with all his attributes and didn't believe in the laws or the guidance that the Creator sent. But it has to be made clear to them, right? Wretched is the destination. When they are thrown into it, meaning the hellfire, they hear from it a dreadful inhaling while it boils up. It's like a fire furnace, like they can feel it, hear it. It almost burns with rage. Every time a company is thrown into it, keepers ask them. So there are gatekeepers of hellfire. Did they not come to your warner? So even the gatekeeper tells the people, you are now going to go in hellfire. Did no one warn you about the hellfire? Meaning, did you not have this message? What did they say? What they will say? They will say, yes. A warner had come to us, but we denied and said, Allah, this is the name of God, has not sent down anything. You are not but in great error. So they will say, yes, there was a prophet or a messenger or a warner, but we didn't believe in them. We denied them. We rejected them. And we said, God doesn't reveal anything. God doesn't send any prophets and messengers. God doesn't send any scripture or any guidance. God doesn't send anything. You are in plain error. A lot of people say that. And they will then say, if only we had been listening or reasoning, we would not be among the companions of the blaze.
Yeah, so
If we listened and we heard the prophets and the messengers, or we were reasoning, using our intellect, we would not have ended in this place. This is the role of the intellect God had given us to use. If you use your intellect, you would not worship a tripod. You would not worship a tree. You would not worship a tree or a half elephant and a half man. You would not. Using the intellect properly and in sound way, you would not worship anything of the creation. The only thing that your intellect will tell you that is worthy of worship is nothing except the creator of this universe, this cosmos. If you use this intellect and no prophet and messenger came and you said, there is a God, I submit and surrender, you already have believed in him, and this is your judgment. He's not going to put you in hellfire because you have arrived to the right conclusion that there is a creator who is one and only and absolute.
So are you saying, so can I just see that quick?
Yeah.
So where it says about, I don't know where it says it, but about a disbeliever.
Yeah, so in Islam, a disbeliever is a kafir. You've probably heard this word, oh, you're a kafir, you're a kafir. A kafir linguistically means someone who covers, a farmer is called a kafir. Why? Because they cover the soil with the earth. Knowing the soil is there, knowing the earth is covering. So there's a knowledge involved in this action. A kafir in Islam, in its technical meaning, someone who knows the truth and then rejects it. So the question that we were discussing, if someone doesn't know the truth, you cannot technically say this person is a kafir.
How can you know the truth for sure? Because what you just said, I feel like is a conflicting interest, because you said God will send a prophet
And a messenger.
a messenger or prophet to teach you how to live your life.
Yeah.
But you also have your own intellect you said that your intellect is influenced by God, and your intellect will influence like your beliefs. So
excuse me, are you she's focusing, so just yeah.
She's got a mind about it.
I thought she was listening, but up to you. It's up to you.
Anyway, calm.
Yeah. The reason I say that, there are certain people here in the park, just to introduce you the park dynamics. I come here to tell about Islam and present Islam to people and reason with people about Islam. The lady here, can I finish? Can I finish? You see, she's not even allowing me to speak.
She's got a mind of it.
I know. But I'm just explaining to the lady who will choose who she wants to speak to. You choose who you want to speak to. No one's gonna speak to her. But what I'm saying simply, she's a Christian missionary, like we are Islamic. You can call it Muslims who've come here to share the message of Islam. She's here to share.
Yeah, can I just
my friend Owen, just one second. Excuse me. Do you see the problem?
Carry on the conversation.
She just asked me a question
No.
quickly and I just wanted to answer.
Go and ask and then go. Thank you.
No, I'm going to be
Alright, let's
here.
not
Oh, she's going to be here. So that's why I'm saying.
carry on the.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Conversation.
So
Why
it
is
is.
it secure?
It is not proper
This is
that while you are listening,
it's great.
she is trying to interrupt this discussion and talk about Christianity. By all means, go ahead, right? But we'll talk about another time.
being real.
I'm just showing you how, come on, have your own discussion.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Let's just carry on the conversation.
Yeah.
No need for
So
any-
Owen.
So
what I'm saying is.
Can I just finish because I was making a point?
Oh, go ahead.
So, I feel like what you were
No,
saying.
up to you. Carry on, please.
I feel like what you were saying there's conflicting interests.
Which one?
Because you said about we're talking about the God will send a messenger. or a
Prophet messenger and using the intellect as well.
And then you also said that our intellect can be influenced by God. And
No. I said we have to use the intellect. The Quran reprimands us for not using the intellect. The Quran says there are people who worship the idols, and those people say, we've seen our forefathers worshipping the idols. And the Quran says, what if your forefathers were wrong? Are you not going to use your sense? They could be wrong too. You can't just simply say, I was born in a family of people who worship a monkey and I'm keeping worshiping a monkey. What happened to your intellect? So God constantly wants us to use the faculty of intellect to revive us in the right thinking. But intellect has its limitation.
You say that the intellect tells us one thing and it's the same forever.
No, a sound intellect would not contradict God's revelation. Like the example we said about God being all knowledgeable.
How do you define a sound intellect?
Yeah. So the sound intellect, to give you an example of a sound intellect, God is all knowledgeable for all the time. Then he comes down and he's ignorant. The sound intellect will tell you all knowledgeable means all time, all knowledgeable, not 5 minutes ignorant. But if someone says, I'm using the mind, just because the book says so, I'm going to accept it. It's God became ignorant for 33 years or whatever. That's not the use of a sound intellect. Because you are now leaving the use of the intellect, suppressing it, and then subscribing to what a particular book may say, because you're giving priority to this book and saying, no, this takes priority, even though your mind does understand that there is a contradiction. Yeah, so sound intellect would not contradict God's true revelation. This is one of the principles that you should go by, because otherwise you can believe in anything. Like I half elephant, half monkey God, and say, yeah.
Okay, so my intellect. So my intellect is, my understanding of what my intellect is just like my logic and you know
the faculty of your reasoning.
So I'm not a practicing. I don't practice any religion. I'm not a practicing Muslim or anything like that. So does that mean I'm not? I don't know. It doesn't really.
Well, no. What it means is you.
My intellect tells me that